Okay, so new people at the 30-minute mark, we get a drink of water, and I'm going to put on my apron. This has the potential to be just a teeny tiny bit messy. And I do not want to get it on my Mickey shirt, even though it is red. But new people, we go ahead and switch out to this so that when you're watching it later, or if you need to go back and watch this later on demand on YouTube, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, then you will know when you have hit the 30-minute mark. You'll know when you have switched to the food fun portion of the chat when I put the apron on. And this lets Casey know where to stop when she is doing this. So Casey divides these up for you before she puts them on YouTube, and thank you very much, Casey. Okay, so this is the second half of chat number 230, and chat number 230 was titled "How to Feel in Control." How can you feel in control when things are out of control? I'm going to show you how I'm going to feel in control this week by making a couple of things for you from where everybody's gardens are coming in. So almost everybody can successfully raise tomatoes. Yeah, almost everybody. So I have some Italian style, some people call them plum tomatoes, marzipan style tomatoes, I think they're called. But they're just little tomatoes, and they're really easy to grow, and you get lots of them when they start to come in. A lot of people grow cherry tomatoes, things like that. So we're going to use up some of the tomatoes, and we're going to use some other, so some of y'all have some of these things in your garden that you can use. And we're also going to use some fresh basil that is right over here. And, oh, Trish says, it has been safe day, no unhealthy food served at the pool. Woo! And dinner is a barbecue. Oh, that sounds great. It sounds like they've got a plan. Real quick before we get started, I wanted to show you last week when we were talking about peaches, I mentioned donut peaches. For people who didn't know what those were, donut peaches, some places call them Saturn peaches, Jupiter peaches, because it looks like the planet. That is a donut peach. So they had these at Publix today. So that is what a donut peach or a Jupiter peach looks like. Okay, so let me set this over here. So tomatoes, again, they are something easy that almost everybody can grow. Or farmers markets have a lot of them right now. You can get tomatoes readily year round. So one of the things that I like to make with, and it's funny because I don't like tomatoes. I know it's going to sound weird. Like I would never just pick up a tomato and start eating it, ever. You will never, never, ever see me do that. And usually if I'm going to put it in, and it's not that I dislike them, I'm just not a big fan of them like as a tomato. Okay, yeah, and Betty Ann calls them snacking tomatoes. So yeah, that would be perfect for someone who likes to just eat tomatoes. But like I would never just eat a tomato. I know people who do. I know people who slice it and put it on bread with mayonnaise, you know, and eat them. Granger County, people from Granger County, Tennessee, think I'm crazy because everybody around here likes big Granger County tomatoes. But the weird thing is, I love ketchup. I love spaghetti sauce. I love things with tomatoes in them. And very strange thing, I love Caprese salad. So my dad taught me to eat Caprese years, 100 years ago. The first time I had it was in Italy. Cannot remember which city, probably Florence. But my dad talked me into eating some, and I thought, ew, it's just tomatoes, because Caprese in Italy, and then the way my dad made it was just a big slice of tomato with a big slice of, we call it buffalo mozzarella. In Italy, it's just mozzarella because it's just normal for them. But it's like fresh mozzarella. It's not shredded mozzarella. It's just fresh mozzarella. And by the way, if you buy fresh mozzarella and it comes in water, you do need to change that water occasionally in case you are not, oh no, Carol Lou says they just take out the salt shaker and start eating it. But I don't dislike tomatoes. So this is not a like cottage cheese face, okay? So don't think that. But anyway, so yeah, so it was a slice of tomato, a big slice of mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, and then basil and balsamic. So I'm going to show you how to make a couple of versions of that for even the people who don't think they like tomatoes in your family. So we're going to use these smaller tomatoes, A, because I have so many of them, and B, because I like the texture of these better. You can certainly use a regular sized tomato for this. So like if you have the big tomatoes like Carol was talking about, or like here the Granger County tomatoes or beefsteak tomatoes or whatever kind of tomato you prefer or have or whatever you grew in your garden, you can certainly use those. You do not have to use these little tiny grape tomatoes or Italian, tomatoes, whatever you call the snacking tomatoes, whatever you call these. So you do not have to do that. Okay, and again, on the mozzarella, if it's fresh mozzarella and it's packed in water, you have to occasionally change the water. If you're not going to use all of it right then, do change the water. And I kind of rinse it out and then fill it back up with water again, because if you don't, it's going to get funky real fast. And by real fast, I mean like it's not going to last days and days and days. So this is fresh mozzarella. A, it's so delicious that you are going to want to eat it pretty soon, and B, you just kind of need to eat it pretty soon. Okay, the first thing that we're going to make with it, so we're going to make an easy caprese sandwich. I went ahead, since I got to go to Publix today, which is one of my very favorite places to go. I have only been to Publix one other time since COVID started. So in how many months is that? Let's see, 12, 18. So in 18 months, this is only the second time that I have had an opportunity to go to Publix in 18 months. Yeah, I did not realize how long it had been, because I was literally like a kid in the candy shop trying not to stay for 3 hours because John was waiting on me. But yeah, I love Publix, love Publix. So one of the things that they have at Publix that I have not found at any of the other local grocery stores is, and then a lot of you all eat the Joseph's lavash, so they have a big lavash bread, and they've got pitas and things like that, but they also have mini pita bread. So Joseph's has a mini pita bread, and the mini pita breads are one smart point per little mini bread, and they have 5 grams of protein. So for those of you who are trying to find extra ways to get protein, a Joseph's lavash mini pita bread has 5 grams of protein per pita. So if you wanted to, you could certainly cut this and open it. If you don't know what a pita is, bless your heart. But you certainly could do that. But we're going to use this just as is. And you can put as many of these as you can fit in your, I'm going to make them in the air fryer. You can make them in your oven. I'm just going to do one tonight, because if I do more than one, then I'm going to feel like I need to eat more than one. Okay, you know what I mean? Okay, so I have a Simple Living Products air fryer, as most of you know, and I'm literally just going to put this in the bottom. So in my Simple Living Products air fryer, I could probably fit 3 of these in the bottom. I have a 5.8 quart. If you have a small one, you might only get 1, but I could technically fit 3 of these in there. So I'm going to put 1 in the bottom, and I'm just going to put it straight in the bottom. You do not have to put this like in the little tray or anything. And I'm just going to use a tiny bit of olive oil spray and put that on there. I'm going to put that directly on the pita. And then, well, here, I'll take this out so you can see what I'm doing with it. I need to cut up a couple of the tomatoes, because smarty me, I did not do that before we got started. So I'll just cut up a couple of the tomatoes. And again, I like these because maybe it's because they're not super fleshy, but I just like this style, the grape style, or the, whatever this style of tomato is. So I'm just going to put a couple on there. Actually, I'm going to put like 2 more slices on there, because we're going to end up using all of these tomatoes. So I'll put just a couple more slices on there like this. Then I am going to put on a couple. Oh, hello, Deborah. Deborah's grandchild just went home. Yeah, and Carol's reminding us that Joseph's regular pita is also, their regular size pita is also just 1 smart point. So I put a couple of tomatoes on here. I'm going to put a little bit of fresh mozzarella. The kind that I usually like to buy is comes already in these little balls. They did not have that at Publix today. They did not have that today, so I'm using this kind that's a little less than 1 ounce of cheese. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of Dax Italian dressing on there. So it's Dax Italian Blast. You can use your favorite. Italian seasoning, if you want to. I use the Dax Italian Blast because, again, I have had way too much sodium this week in way too much, way too much. And all of the Dax spices are sodium free. By the way, okay, today is July the 4th, 2021. Today and tomorrow, everything on kckitchencenter.com or ifyouhaveanegg.com in the shopping section, it's all buy 3, get 1, get the 4th, get the 4th free if you use the code fireworks at checkout. That does include the Dax spices. So it's buy 3, get the 4th fireworks, free if you use the code fireworks. But today is July the 4th, 2021. Tomorrow is July the 5th, 2021, unless you're in England, and then it's already tomorrow. But that code's only good for today and tomorrow. So yeah, so don't wait. Okay, so if you're watching this July 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, sorry. Anyway, so that is the Dax Italian Blast. Okay, we're not going to put any basil on it until after I take it out. So while we're letting this cook, we're going to make something else. We're going to put this in, just down in the bottom of the tray in the Simple Living Products air fryer. And remember, scoop when you put it in. Don't shove it in. And we're going to press the button in the middle to turn it on. And we're going to leave it on 360 and take it down to about 8 minutes. And we're going to check it here in just a few minutes. So while that is cooking, I will be making later this week, I'm going to show you how to make the next thing, but I will be making later this week a caprese salad, spaghetti squash. So some of you, us included, decided to try spaghetti squash in the garden. So if you're a first-time spaghetti squash grower, they're little. Because you get excited and you pick them too early and they are small. So yeah, so this, we do have a video on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. If you go to YouTube and search If You Have an Egg, you can find the video on how to cook spaghetti squash in the air fryer. It's super, super, super easy in the air fryer. But so later in the week, we will be cooking this spaghetti squash, preparing it like you do spaghetti squash, cutting it in half, fluffing it up and everything, and then doing some more caprese in here so that it will be 0 points of the spaghetti squash. So this will act as our base. But anyway, that's for another day. We don't have time to do that today. Okay, but today, while that is cooking, we are going to use Nana's Super Cool red, white, and blue bowl. And what I have in here, I have half of the box of already made whole grain pasta. So whole wheat pasta, whole grain pasta. This is rotini, and it's half the box. So half the box, if you're just looking, so if you buy this brand, half the box is about right there. So if you find that little line on the Barilla brand, half is about right there. So we're going to use about half the box on that. If you use a different amount, just put it in your recipe builder. So put it in your WW recipe builder, and then you're going to cook it like normal. So we just made, that's all I did was make just regular pasta. So whole wheat pasta. Then you're going to cool it off and set it to the side. And then to that, you're going to add as many tomatoes as you want. And again, these do not have to be these little grape tomatoes. They don't have to be these little Italian snacking tomatoes. They could be big honking tomatoes and chop them up. I would, though, chop them up kind of, small, slice them up like this. So if it's a regular sized tomato, I would, cut them up into smaller bite-sized pieces, because you're going to be making a pasta salad. So you're going to want something that is small enough that people can, that they can put a bite of it in their mouth and they don't get a giant, just a giant tomato. Because otherwise you would just be making traditional caprese salad, which is sliced tomatoes. It's just regular sliced tomatoes. We call it buffalo. Italians just call it mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, some balsamic, and some basil. Okay, so let me get a couple more of these in here. So we can always add more tomatoes. Oh, I got plenty of time. Okay, here I am rushing, thinking that we don't have much time. We got plenty of time. So I'm going to slow down just a little. I'm going to slow down and cut my tomatoes. So what's your favorite kind of tomatoes? Do you all like big ones? Do you like small ones? I saw somebody a few minutes ago say that they liked this kind, the snacking size. I know my mom used to eat, she used to do grape tomatoes, or not grape tomatoes, she used to do, she called them Tommy Toes. I don't know if they call them Tommy Toes in other parts of the country or not, but she called them Tommy Toe tomatoes, and they were just little tomatoes. Lynn says any. So any tomatoes for Lynn. Okay. So here we have the pasta and we have the tomatoes. Then to this, we're going to add some arugula. So I did not get to plant arugula in our garden. Oh, and Cynthia says cherry tomatoes. That's what a Tommy Toe is. So that's the kind my mom liked. She says, or this. So we did not get to plant arugula in our garden this year because Alyssa and I got a late start, and honestly, things like that are so delicate that a 3-year-old helping me plant lettuces wasn't going to be a great idea, so we didn't do it. The only reason I am opening this and putting this straight in is because these people promised me, that this is triple washed. Okay, if it's not really triple washed, they're in big trouble. So I like the way the arugula and the basil taste together. If you like a different kind of lettuce, you certainly can use that. But I like the way that the arugula and the basil taste together. So we're just going to give that a little toss to get that started. And the tomatoes smell good. I don't know why I don't just eat them, because they smell really good. Okay, and then to this, we're going to add some more fresh mozzarella. Now, I have removed the fresh mozzarella from its original container because we are going to use the rest of this tonight. I still have one of the balls. So a ball of the mozzarella is about this big. I still have one of those in its original container, and tomorrow I will drain the water off because it's open now. So until you open it, you don't need to drain it, and you can't because it wasn't open. But tomorrow, after I drain it, then I will, and Vicky just started growing basil in her windowsill. Yeah. So I'll have mine. Here's mine. But anyway, so you don't have to drain it until then. You don't have to drain it until after you open it. Once you mix it in this, just eat this within a few days. You don't have to like pick the mozzarella out, and keep draining it, because you're going to pack this and put it in the refrigerator. So anyway, so the other one is in there. So I'm going to put the rest of this in here, and Jessica will be posting this recipe in the next day or two, and it will tell you exactly how much of everything to put in there. But you can see, even though I did not pour, can you all see the rest of that liquid in there? Even though I did not pour any of the liquid from this into that container, it's still kind of sweating. I guess it's sweating that on there. Okay, and so there is some fresh mozzarella in there. And then to that, we are going to add some fresh basil. And if you have some growing in your window, this is a good time to use it. Let me check our pita real quick. We have 1 minute left on the pita, and I'm going to let it finish because that seemed to be a perfect time. Okay, so on the basil, we're going to go ahead, I don't know if you know this or not, but kind of pinch it. So when you're growing basil, pinch the tops. When it starts to make more leaves like this, pinch the top. If you don't keep it pinched back, it's going to bolt. And if it bolts, and that means it's trying to go to seed, if it bolts, it's going to be bitter. So don't let it do that. So out of if you can see what I'm doing, out of the top of your basil, when it starts to make these extra little leaves, when it gets, I don't really know how many leaves, but when it starts to get extra leaves, that's when you want to pinch the center out before it bolts. So we're going to use our fancy dancy herb shears again this week. We used them last week. This week we're going to use them on the basil so that we can make little ribbons. So can you see how that's making little ribbons? And that's so that I do not have to cut my fingers off trying to get the basil shredded. So we're going to do that, and we'll cut just a little bit more. And you can hear that the Simple Living Products air fryer is alerting me to the fact that it is done. And the beautiful part of using an air fryer for something like that is it is going to, so it kind of gave me a warning shot, like, hey, I'm done. It's cooling down right now. So if you can, oh, it's done. So it cools down for a few seconds. So if you weren't quite ready, like if you jumped in the shower or jumped on the phone, you know, or something like that, or if you were talking during a live chat, then, you know, and you weren't paying attention, then it's not going to burn up, you know. So it's not like leaving something in the regular, you know, in the regular oven to burn up. So, okay, so here is our basil, and these cool little shears. So it is all nice and finely shredded. And we're going to toss that in. And I'm tossing everything before I put the balsamic on there, because if you don't, it's going to just stick to certain things. So let's go ahead and get that tossed. And you can add more basil if you want to. You can add as much basil as you like. And if you like more tomatoes, feel free to add those. Just don't add more cheese unless you count the points. So the way I've got this figured, this is going to make about 8 half-cup servings, and it's a generous half a cup. I'm sorry, 8 1-cup servings. So it's like this. So we're gonna be packing it in this to eat later this week, or to eat all this week. And it is I think I came up with 4 points blue, 5 points green. I think, is that how much I came up with? And 1 point purple. I'm pretty sure that's how much I came up with because of the pasta and because of the cheese. So the cheese was the only thing that was a point on purple. Okay, then we're gonna add some fat-free balsamic, and this is the Maple Grove Farms of Vermont fat-free balsamic vinaigrette. Now, if in true classic Caprese, you would be using just balsamic vinegar. But I'm going to use this balsamic vinaigrette. And that's about 1/4 of a cup. I'm going to stir it up and see how that goes. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. I wish you all could smell this. The basil, and now that vinaigrette. Wow, that smells good. That smells so good. Okay, and don't go anywhere. I know some of you all have to go back out and watch your fireworks tonight. Do not go anywhere until I pull the pita out so you can see it too. Okay, so now we have the whole wheat pasta, tomatoes of your choice, and don't you know I didn't grab a fork. Hold on just a second. You know, you can dress me up, but it's hard to take me anywhere. Okay, so we have whole wheat pasta, tomatoes of your choice, arugula, fresh basil, fat-free balsamic, Dax Italian Blast, if you like that kind, and the cheese, the fresh mozzarella. So let's get a good bite here so I can show you all what this tastes like. And again, don't run off because we definitely want to see what how this pita turned out. So I can see that I have every single ingredient in here. And that is, wow, that's good. That is so good. And I'm going to pack a little bit of it in here so that I can have this for lunch this week. So I'll be packing these and have these already ready in the refrigerator. Look how cute that is. Look how cute that would be. This would be awesome to serve like for a book club, a shower, if you're having like a baby shower or a bridal shower or something, to make everybody their own little individual caprese salads. Look how cute that is. Okay, that is so stinking cute. Okay, so that is the caprese salad, pasta salad. Then, let's see, we'll set this over here so you can still see Nana's cute little bowl. Then for the pita, if you'll notice, I did not put the basil or the balsamic on there just yet. Whoop. The basil and the balsamic, so that's our little pita. The basil and the balsamic are better if you do them after, if you don't cook them. If you like your basil kind of wilted, you could certainly do that. Otherwise, just go ahead and add your basil after. Go ahead and get a nice big, because I love basil. Okay, we'll get that on there. And then, again, we're going to do just a little bit of the fat-free balsamic. Get a little smaller container because you're just going to drizzle it on there because you just want a little drizzle of the balsamic. See how cute that is? I'll try to hold it up so that y'all can see it, but it is super duper cute. And let me get a little piece of it here. That's going to be crispy because you've put it in the air fryer, and that is okay because it's kind of like a little crispy pizza at this point. So I have a tomato, I've got balsamic, and I have, and just a little bit of cheese. And we do have some basil on there. So I'll try to hurry so I don't keep you all too late tonight so you can go watch your fireworks. But look how cute that is. And let's try this. Yeah, not going to hurt my feelings to eat this after we are done. Look how cute that is. Okay. And this is why I only made one of these. If I had made 3, I would have eaten 3 of these. But Jessica should be getting the pasta salad. This one should be up in the next day or 2. I have already sent her all of the ingredients. I've already sent Jessica all of the ingredients. So she will get that one posted soon for you. And then hopefully the pita in the next couple of days. And she will be posting the chat here in just a couple of days. So I'm going to go ahead and let you all go so that I can scoot home before all the Sunday night version of the fireworks start. We saw lots and lots of fireworks last night, but I know everybody will be out in full force again tonight. But you all have an amazing evening. Thank you so much. Happy 4th of July, everybody, and happy Canada Day to all of our Canadian friends, and just happy July 5th to our people in England, to our friends in England. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and let that next video roll over up here, and you can subscribe right here. Go ahead right here in this basil plant. You can subscribe right now. So go ahead and subscribe and click that little bell. Check that little bell so that you'll be notified of our next video. And if you need anything from our Spreadshirt store, that is right over here, and you can click on that. So everybody have a great evening. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for letting me play tonight so that we will have lunches and dinners for the rest of this week. Something that's absolutely yummy. And I'm going to have Casey try this tomorrow because she's not a big tomato. Well, she likes tomatoes, okay. So I'm anxious to see how she likes this. I don't think I've ever made her caprese salad, but anyway, you all have, oh, hello Barbara, sneaking in there at the last second. So you all have a great evening, a happy 4th of July, what's left of it. Be safe, and we will see you all next week.